Success starts in the mind. Everything you achieve, every action you take, every battle you win, it all begins with how you think. If you see yourself as a loser, if you tell yourself that you're not good enough, if you believe that others are more fortunate than you, then you have already lost before even stepping into the fight. The world is brutal. It does not care about your feelings. It does not care about your struggles. It rewards those who impose their will on reality. That is why mindset is everything. The people who dominate in any field, whether it's business, sports, or life in general, have something in common. They refuse to accept defeat as a possibility. They don't allow self-doubt to creep into their minds. They don't entertain the thought of failure. When obstacles arise, they don't sit there complaining, wondering why life is unfair. Instead, they analyze, they adapt, and they push forward. That is what separates the elite from the average. Most people underestimate the power of belief. They think success is about skills, connections, or luck, but what truly determines your fate is your ability to control your thoughts. Weak people let negativity take over. They let fear dictate their actions. They let laziness convince them that they can afford to relax. Winners operate differently. They program their minds to think in a way that forces them to take action, forces them to find solutions, and forces them to overcome every challenge. The world is full of distractions. Everywhere you look, there are excuses waiting for you. Reasons to procrastinate, reasons to give up, reasons to settle for less. The weak surrender to these distractions because their minds are undisciplined. They let social media drain their time. They let criticism destroy their confidence. They let temporary setbacks convince them to quit. A strong mind does not allow any of this. A strong mind stays locked in, focused on the goal, immune to negativity. It is not easy to develop this kind of mental strength. It requires daily effort. It requires rewiring the way you think. Every morning when you wake up, you have two choices. You can either give in to the excuses or you can take control and operate like a winner. This is not something you do once in a while. It has to become a way of life. Champions are not born. They are built through relentless conditioning of the mind. A crucial part of this process is eliminating weak language from your vocabulary. Words shape thoughts, and thoughts shape reality. People who constantly say, I can't, it's too hard, or I'm not good enough, program themselves for failure. Winners speak with certainty. They say, I will, I must, I am capable. They affirm their success before it happens. They do not allow self-doubt to exist. Another key factor is environment. The people you surround yourself with influence the way you think. If you spend time with losers, complainers, and people who accept mediocrity, their mentality will infect yours. But if you surround yourself with high achievers, with people who demand excellence from themselves, their mindset will elevate yours. This is why winners are careful about their circle. They do not tolerate weak energy. A strong mindset also requires resilience. Life will test you. It will throw challenges your way, trying to break you. Most people fold under pressure. They let setbacks defeat them. But if you have the right mentality, every hardship becomes fuel. Every failure is a lesson. Every pain makes you stronger. That is how you win. By refusing to let anything weaken your mind. Your mind is your most powerful weapon. Train it, control it, and watch how the world bends in your favor. Most people rely on motivation to take action. They wait until they feel inspired, until the mood is right, until everything is perfect before they start working. This is exactly why they fail. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world, but other days you don't feel like doing anything. If your success is dependent on how you feel, you will never achieve anything significant. This is why discipline is superior to motivation. It is the foundation of all greatness. The people who win in life are not the ones who always feel good. They are the ones who show up no matter what. Whether they are tired, unmotivated, stressed, or facing obstacles, they still put in the work. They understand that progress is not about emotions, it's about execution. It does not matter how they feel. What matters is what they do. Winners have conditioned themselves to take action regardless of their emotional state. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't want to do it. It is waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It is training when your body is sore. It is grinding when everyone else is relaxing. This is what separates the strong from the weak. The weak look for excuses, the strong look for solutions. They don't wait for the perfect time to start because they know there is no such thing. They create results through consistent effort. Most people overestimate the importance of motivation and underestimate the power of habit. If you only work when you feel motivated, you will be inconsistent. But if you build habits that force you to take action daily, you will win. This is why the most disciplined individuals seem almost robotic in their work ethic. They don't negotiate with themselves. They don't give themselves the option to slack off. They have programmed their minds to execute no matter what. It all comes down to self-respect. People who lack discipline betray themselves every day. They say they will start working out, but they skip the gym. They promise to wake up early, but they hit snooze. They claim they want success, but their actions say otherwise. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your character. But when you develop discipline, you build trust with yourself. You become the kind of person who does what they say they will do. There will be days when you feel exhausted, days when nothing seems to be working, days when you question whether it's all worth it. This is when most people quit, but discipline forces you to keep going. When others give up, you push forward. When others look for an easy way out, you stay committed. This is the difference between those who make it and those who don't. The weak give in to their feelings. The strong operate on principles. Discipline is freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life. People who lack discipline are slaves to their emotions. If they feel tired, they don't work. If they feel sad, they don't show up. If they don't feel like doing something, they don't do it. But disciplined individuals are in charge of their actions. They dictate how their day goes. They control the results. The most powerful realization you can have is that you do not need to feel motivated to take action. You just need to move. The action itself creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Winners understand this. They don't waste time waiting to feel ready. They just start. And because they start, they always stay ahead. Discipline wins every time. Pain is an unavoidable part of life. Everyone experiences setbacks, disappointments, and struggles. The difference between winners and losers is how they respond to that pain. Weak people complain, make excuses, and let pain defeat them. Strong people embrace it, learn from it, and use it as fuel. Pain is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. It exposes your weaknesses, sharpens your mind, and forces you to grow. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to become stronger. Most people run from pain. The moment they feel discomfort, they quit. They avoid hard work because it's tiring. They avoid rejection because it hurts their ego. They avoid failure because it makes them feel bad. But the truth is, everything you want is on the other side of pain. Strength, success, confidence, power, these things are earned through struggle. If you avoid pain, you will stay weak. If you embrace it, you will become unstoppable. Every setback has a lesson. When you fail, it's not the end. It's information. It's showing you what needs to improve. It's giving you feedback. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail the most but refuse to stay down. They analyze their mistakes, adjust their strategy, and come back stronger. Every time you get knocked down and get back up, you are training yourself to be unbreakable. Pain builds mental toughness. The more you endure, the more resilient you become. Every difficult situation you survive makes future challenges easier. The things that used to stress you out no longer bother you. The problems that used to feel impossible now seem small. This is how warriors are made. They go through fire and come out stronger. They don't run from adversity. They embrace it. They understand that suffering is temporary, but the strength it builds lasts forever. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you are always comfortable, you are not improving. The body gets stronger when you push it past its limits. The mind gets sharper when it is challenged. The best version of yourself will never be created in an easy environment. If you never put yourself in difficult situations, you will remain average. This is why winners seek discomfort. They push themselves in the gym, in business, in every area of life. They understand that growth only happens under pressure. Pain also reveals who you truly are. It strips away the excuses, the false confidence, and the distractions. When you are tested, you find out what you are made of. Some people break, others rise. Some people let pain destroy them, others use it to rebuild themselves into something greater. Pain forces you to decide, are you going to let it control you or are you going to use it? There is no avoiding hardship. No matter how much money you make, how successful you become, or how comfortable your life gets, you will face pain. The question is, will you let it defeat you or will you turn it into power? The strongest people in history, the ones who have achieved greatness, all went through suffering. They didn't escape it, they mastered it. They took every failure, every rejection, every betrayal, and used it as motivation to go even harder. Pain is the price of greatness. The people who achieve the most are the ones who can endure the most. Instead of fearing pain, welcome it. Let it sharpen you, let it build you, let it make you relentless. If you want to win in life, you must stop avoiding pain and start using it. Because in the end, pain will either break you or make you unbreakable. The choice is yours, nobody is coming to save you. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you take full control of your life. Most people live in a fantasy where they believe that someone, friends, family, the government, society will step in and fix their problems. They wait for opportunities instead of creating them. They hope that life will get easier instead of making themselves stronger. This is why they stay stuck. The hard truth is that if you do not take action, nothing will change. You are the only person responsible for your success, your failures, and your future. The people who win in life understand that they must rely on themselves. They do not wait for handouts. They do not expect anyone to help them. They know that if they want something, they must go out and take it. This mindset is what separates the strong from the weak. The weak believe that life is unfair, that they are victims of circumstances, that other people have it easier. But the truth is, everyone faces challenges. The difference is that winners take responsibility while losers make excuses. Blaming others is a waste of time. Complaining changes nothing. If you are broke, unhealthy, unmotivated, or stuck in a situation you hate, the only person who can fix it is you. Most people don't want to hear this because it forces them to be accountable. It's easier to say, I didn't get lucky, or I wasn't born into the right family, than to admit, I haven't done enough. But until you accept responsibility, you will remain powerless. The moment you stop making excuses and take full ownership of your life, you become unstoppable. Life does not care about your feelings. It does not care if you are tired, stressed, or afraid. The world moves forward with or without you. This is why you must be ruthless in your self-discipline. Nobody will hand you success. Nobody will push you to improve. If you do not take action, you will be left behind. The people who win are the ones who outwork everyone else. They take full control of their time, their habits, and their decisions. When you rely on others, you give away your power. If you wait for someone to come and rescue you, you are putting your future in their hands. The truth is, nobody else will ever care about your success as much as you do. People are focused on their own lives, their own goals, their own problems. If you want something, you must take it. The world rewards those who are bold enough to demand what they want and disciplined enough to earn it. This is not about isolation. It is not about rejecting help when it comes. But help should be a bonus, not a necessity. If you rely on others, you are weak. If you can stand on your own, you are powerful. The strongest people in the world are self-sufficient. They do not depend on anyone emotionally, financially, or mentally. They build themselves into forces that cannot be ignored. If you want to succeed, stop waiting, stop hoping, stop depending on things outside of your control. Instead, take full responsibility for every part of your life. If you are not where you want to be, work harder. If you are not getting results, change your strategy. If you are struggling, push through. Every excuse you make weakens you. Every action you take strengthens you. The sooner you realize that nobody is coming to save you, the sooner you will start winning. Because once you rely on yourself, you become unstoppable. Winning against all odds requires an unbreakable work ethic. Most people want success, but very few are willing to put in the effort it demands. They admire the champions, the leaders, and the top performers, but they don't see the countless hours of work behind their achievements. The truth is simple: if you want to win, you must be willing to outwork everyone else. There are no shortcuts, no easy routes, no lucky breaks that will replace relentless effort. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is work. The ones who rise to the top are the ones who refuse to be outworked. They show up earlier, stay later, and put in more effort than everyone around them. When others are sleeping, they are working. When others are making excuses, they are grinding. Success is not given, it is taken by those who are willing to pay the price. Most people underestimate how much work is actually required to achieve greatness. They think working hard for a few months will bring them results. When they don't see instant success, they quit. But true success takes years of effort, discipline, and sacrifice. It requires a level of consistency that most people are unwilling to commit to. Winners do not work hard for a short period and expect results. They work hard every single day, no matter. There will always be people with more natural talent, more resources, or better starting positions. But hard work is the great equalizer. It does not matter where you start, it only matters how much effort you put in. Someone who is relentless in their work ethic will always surpass someone with more talent but less discipline. Talent is meaningless without hard work. The world is filled with talented people who never achieve anything because they lack the discipline to put in the effort. Meanwhile, the ones who consistently push themselves forward, who refuse to stop, who outwork everyone else, those are the ones who dominate. Work ethic is not just about effort, it's about endurance. Most people can work hard for a day, a week, or even a month, but true winners sustain their work ethic for years, even decades. They don't burn out because they have built a mindset that thrives on the grind. They embrace the struggle, they love the process, and they keep going long after everyone else has given up. This is what separates them. This is why they win. Excuses are the enemy of hard work. People who fail always have excuses. They don't have enough time, they're too tired, they're not in the right circumstances. But winners don't allow excuses to exist in their minds. They don't wait for the perfect conditions to start. They take action regardless of the obstacles in their way. They understand that hard work is the only solution to any problem. No money, work harder. No skills, learn and practice. No opportunities, create them. Every excuse is just another way of saying, I don't want it bad enough. Hard work is also about sacrifice. While others are relaxing, partying, or wasting time, the ones who truly want success are working. They give up distractions, they eliminate time-wasting habits, and they focus entirely on their goals. The weak choose comfort, the strong choose results. Every hour spent working is an hour invested in the future. Every sacrifice made today leads to rewards later. The bottom line is simple. If you want to win, outwork everyone. Be the first to start, the last to stop, and the hardest worker in the room. Never settle, never slow down, and never expect success to come without relentless effort. Hard work beats everything, every single time. Fear is the biggest enemy of success. It stops people from taking action, from seizing opportunities, and from reaching their full potential. Most people are controlled by fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of stepping outside their comfort zone. This is why they stay stuck. They never take risks, never push their limits, and never achieve greatness. The truth is, fear will never go away. It will always be there. The difference between winners and losers is that winners feel the fear and do it anyway. Fear is a test. It is life's way of asking, how bad do you want it? Weak people back down when fear shows up. They let it control them. They avoid challenges, stay in their safe little bubble, and convince themselves that they are being smart by playing it safe. But playing it safe is the riskiest thing you can do. It guarantees that you will never grow, never improve, and never accomplish anything meaningful. The only way to overcome fear is to face it head on. Most people let fear create imaginary limits in their minds. They tell themselves they can't do something before they even try. They assume they will fail before they take the first step. This is the biggest lie people tell themselves. Fear is not real. It is just a thought, an illusion that disappears the moment you take action. Every great achievement in history came from someone who refused to let fear stop them. The people who win are not fearless. They are just courageous enough to act despite their fears. Courage is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The first time you face fear, it feels overwhelming, but when you push through it, you realize that it wasn't as bad as you thought. Then the next time it becomes easier. Before you know it, fear loses its power over you. This is how confidence is built, not by avoiding fear, but by defeating it over and over again. The only way to gain true self-belief is to prove to yourself that you can handle anything life throws at you. Failure is part of the process. The reason most people are afraid to take action is that they don't want to fail. They don't want to look stupid, be embarrassed, or deal with setbacks. But failure is not the opposite of success, it is a requirement for success. Every champion, every billionaire, every leader has failed more times than they can count. The difference is they did not let failure stop them. They saw it as a lesson, adjusted, and kept going. This is what separates winners from everyone else. People who let fear control them live miserable lives. They stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and situations that keep them unfulfilled because they are too afraid to make a change. They would rather stay in familiar pain than risk the unknown. But the truth is, nothing great happens inside your comfort zone. Everything you want is outside of it. The moment you step into the unknown and take risks, you grow. You become stronger, smarter, and more capable. Fear will never disappear completely, but you can train yourself to ignore it. Every time you hesitate because of fear, you must force yourself to take action. If you're afraid to speak up, speak. If you're afraid to start a business, start. If you're afraid to fail, fail fast and learn. The more you face fear, the less control it has over you. Eventually, you will reach a point where nothing can stop you because you have trained yourself to act regardless of fear. The people who achieve the most in life are the ones who refuse to let fear dictate their future. They understand that fear is just an illusion, a mental barrier that disappears the moment they move forward. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. One group lets fear control them while the other group controls their fear. If you want to win in life, master fear or it will master you. The mind is the most powerful weapon you have. It controls everything, your actions, your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately your results. But most people let their minds work against them. They allow doubt, negativity, and weakness to dictate their lives. They are controlled by their emotions, driven by fear, and enslaved by limiting beliefs. This is why they fail. The people who win are the ones who take full control of their minds and use them as tools to dominate. That is why people like you, a strong mindset is the foundation of all success. If you do not master your mind, you will never master your life. Most people think success is about external factors, money, opportunities, connections, but everything starts in the mind. The person who believes they will win will always find a way. The person who doubts themselves has already lost. Your mind is either your greatest asset or your worst enemy. If you fill it with doubt and excuses, it will sabotage you. But if you train it to be disciplined, focused, and unshakable, nothing can stop you. Your thoughts shape your reality. Winners think like winners before they even succeed. Weak minds are controlled by emotions. They make decisions based on how they feel. If they feel tired, they rest. If they feel scared, they quit. If they feel unmotivated, they do nothing. Nothing. But strong minds operate on discipline, not feelings. They do what needs to be done regardless of how they feel. They push forward even when it's uncomfortable. This is the difference between winners and everyone else. Your feelings are unreliable. They will change every day, but discipline is constant. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who feel the best. They are the ones who act despite how they feel. Mental toughness is built through hardship. The reason most people are weak is that they avoid struggle. They want life to be easy. They avoid discomfort, challenges, and pain. But growth only happens under pressure. The strongest minds are forged in fire. Every time you overcome a difficult situation, you become stronger. Every time you refuse to quit, your mind gets tougher. This is why the most successful people in the world are also the most resilient. They have trained themselves to thrive under pressure. They do not break, they adapt, they adjust, they conquer. Your mind will believe whatever you feed it. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, you will never be. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you will prove yourself right. But if you fill your mind with thoughts of strength, confidence, and determination, you will become unstoppable. Self-talk is one of the most powerful tools you have. Every day, you are either programming yourself for success or failure. The choice is yours. Most people let their minds control them instead of taking control of their minds. They let negative thoughts dictate their actions. They let fear stop them. They let doubt hold them back. But your mind is a tool. You must control it, direct it, and program it for success. If you do not take control, the world will do it for you. Society wants you weak, distracted, and dependent. If you do not train your mind to be strong, you will be manipulated by everything around you. You must condition your mind like you condition your body. Just as muscles grow through resistance, mental strength grows through challenges. The more you push yourself, the stronger you get. This is why winners seek adversity. They don't complain when things get hard. They use difficulty as training. They understand that a strong mind is the key to a strong life. At the end of the day, everything comes down to mindset. The difference between those who win and those who lose is not luck, intelligence, or talent. It is mental strength. The strongest minds do not make excuses. They do not hesitate. They do not break. They keep going when others quit. They stay focused when others get distracted. They stay disciplined when others get lazy. If you master your mind, you master everything. The weak blame their circumstances. The strong create their own. The question is, which one will you be?